Hello guys, welcome to Solutions Hub. On today's tutorial, we are going to show you how to create features on Google Earth. Right, good. So we are going to navigate to our choice location. This is Africa, this is Nigeria. So let's say we are looking at somewhere in River State. Right, good. So that's Port Harcourt there. Then let's look at a particular campus, that's River State University campus. Good. So it should be somewhere around there. Fantastic. Now what we want to show you is that we are going to create a folder, and then we are also going to digitize a few points, like create some vector data like points, lines and polygons, store them inside of that folder, export that folder, and then visualize whatever we have there inside of a GIS software like QGIS. Right, good. So now let's see how that goes. So we are going to use add place mark, add polygon, and then add path as the tools for today's tutorial. The first of which is let's add the place mark. Now the place mark would serve for point features, right? Good. So let's say inside of this campus, let's see where we are going to identify some trees, right? So let's say this is a tree. Remember that you can actually change that particular symbol here, to use something else, right? Good. So let's say you want to use this, right? Then you can increase or decrease the scale depending on how you want your visualization to be. You can also increase or decrease the opacity, that's how visible it will be, right? Good. So let's leave this at 1, and then we click on OK. So we can call that tree 1. So that's our first point feature. So any point feature you have, you can just use the place mark to locate that point feature. So let's take a second one. Okay, let's say this is what, a 3. Now remember, it is still referring to the last icon we have used. So if this is something else, you can always come here and then change it to whatever you want it to be, right? Good. So since we are still working on trees, let's call that tree underscore 2, right? Good. So if you have a few descriptions, you can actually write them here. Then this is for the label styles and the color, how you want to view them, and then the altitude, right? Good. So this is what this particular new place mark window will do for you. So we click on OK. So we are done with point features. Let's now go to line. We are going to use add path to maybe get our lines. So we click on add path. Now the cursor is out. That helps you mark out linear features. So let's zoom in a bit. So let's say we need from this road to this point, and then we still want to come down here. We still want to take this, come back here, pick this point, pick, and then finally close back here. Now one thing to note is that if you make a mistake, you can use the delete key on your keyboard, right? Good. So it has taken it back. If you delete again, it delete the line that you have drawn, right? Good. So you can now try to redraw it again if you made a mistake. So that's what we have just done, and then you bring it back there. So that's what we have just done. So this actually is for linear features. So let's call this road 1. So similarly for the styles, you can decide to change the color to something else. Maybe if you want to use black, and then if you also want to increase the width, you can do stuff like that. But because of the background, black might not be very good. So let's leave it at the red, and then we can increase the width if we actually want to, right? Good. So these are a few modifications you can do. So we click on OK. Now we can still try to take another road. Let's say we just want to take this other road again. So remember, we are only demonstrating. If you want to take the inner roads, you can actually zoom in to see the roads, and then you digitize them, right? So let's just go in a bit, and then we say that's the end. So we can call this road 2, and then we click on OK. Now we have points, lines. Now let's take a few polygons. So for the polygons, we are going to use add polygon. Then we just come to maybe this particular building. We mark it out by the outline, Now you can see that by default it has filling. So if we come to style and color, we are going to see the area segment where you are going to see filled plus outlined, right? Good. So what we need is just outlined. We don't want it filled. And then you now see that the filling has left. Then if maybe it was when it was filled, the color here is white, so you can actually change the color to something else. Let's say if you want to use red, okay, that's not red, so it will change the color to something else, right? Good. However, we don't need filled, we need outlined. So for the line, we need a different color. Let's say we need red, and then we also want to increase the width to maybe 2 or thereabout, right? Good. So you now see you can actually increase it more than that or maybe reduce it. However, you can still change the opacity for the two segments, that's for the lines and for the area, right? Good. So these are also some modifications you can do for the polygons. I haven't done that. Let's call this we can't actually identify the building, so let's just call this BLD1. So if you are doing a productive job, you ensure that you identify the building, like we have this for Faculty of Management Sciences, this for Central Administrative Building. So if you know the name of the building, you can just use that to identify it. So we have building 1. So let's come to, okay, let's just use this just for simplicity. Let's get this outline. Now it has recalled the last setting we used, right? Good. So you don't need to modify it unless you need to modify it. So let's call this BLD2, right? Then we click on OK. So basically we have actually gotten, now if you see that your screen is a bit tilted, you come to view, under reset you click on tilt and compass, and then you now see that it's more orthogonal than it is what tilted, right? Good. So this is better off than before. The next thing is for us to add a folder, and then create a folder rather, and then add all of these features inside of that folder. For us to create a folder, we come to add, and then we click on folder, right? So let's call this hub. So if we call that hub, we click on OK. The folder has been created. Now all of these features that we have created are actually under places, right? Good. So if we open our places now, you are going to see them here. We have tree 1, tree 2, road 1, road 2, building 1, building 2, and of course the folder we have created, right? So what we are going to do now is that we are going to highlight all of these. That's the features that we have created. Having highlighted, we can just drag and then drop inside of what, our hub folder. Now you now see that inside of that folder, which is the hub, now you see the different what features in them, right? Good. In each rather, you see the different features in it. So we can just right click on that our hub folder. We go to save places as. Good. So we have a folder called Digitize under Google Earth. So that's up. We have KML and then KMZ file, right? Good. So let's go with the KMZ as default as it has been provided, and then we save. So what will now happen is that we go to our GIS software, which is QGIS. Then we try to locate what that folder, that data that we have added to that folder. So since it's a vector data, we go to add layer, add vector layer, then we browse. Good. Now we have the hub inside of that folder. We can just open, then we add. So it's asking us the items we are going to add. Yes, we are going to add all of the items. So we add and then we close. Good. So you now see the different items we have digitized, the roads, the points, and then the buildings, right? Good. So if we want to label them, we can actually show labels. You see that's tree 1, tree 2, and then for the building, if we also show label, that's building 1, building 2, right? Good. So yeah, you can change the symbology and do a few stuff to get your final result. So we have shown you using Google Earth and QGIS how you can actually move features from Google Earth here to your QGIS environment, and then perhaps do final touches to maybe get a map or for presentation purposes. So we are going to see you on the next tutorial. Ensure you keep staying safe and have a fantastic time. Bye.